You're listening to The Pete Sheppard Show.
And good morning. How's everybody doing today? Hey, happy Monday. First Monday after the 4th of July. Long holiday weekend. How's everybody doing today? I am Pete Sheppard. This is the Pete Sheppard Show here. It's the Coastal Sports Network, by the way, and an entire video platform, which I'll get to in a second. We've got so much to share with everybody and so little time. Going to be a shortened edition today until 9 a.m. because the one and only Angel Martinez, who is not only, I don't know if the man has slept in the last 7. I don't know if he slept since the last we spoke, which was last Tuesday. But he has been unbelievable. He's got some things he's going to take care of today. So we're going to shorten the show until 9 a.m. this morning. Let Angel and the dynamic Debbie do whatever they have to do. Fantastic stuff. And the lovely Debbie had a little procedure that you told me about. She's doing much better, and we all are wishing her well. And I know she'll be busting your chops somewhere along the way today as well. Makes her feel good. Makes me feel good. Makes everybody feel good. Angel Martinez has been unbelievable. Welcome to the Pete Sheppard Show today. We got a lot to get to. The All-Star, Major League Baseball All-Star rosters are out officially, if you care. Home Run Derby, all that stuff. It is the time of year where now I'm counting down, I believe, on August 31st is there'll be games before that, college football, but I think we're down to, 6 Saturdays now until college football. And things are starting to get, we're heating up there, getting ready for football season, NFL and college football. But in the meantime, we're going to somewhat recap what happened this weekend. We had MLB All-Star rosters, as I said. I got a lot of lists, like college football tiers of best offenses from a site that I like a lot. Also, I got a site that has like the 100 best shows of all time. Wait till you see what's on it. Again, it's just this one site's opinion and what's not on it. We got NASCAR news, which is it's some funny cuts. We got PGA news as well, Wimbledon stuff. As always, if anybody watching Wimbledon, I don't know if anybody's watching Wimbledon or not. I used to watch a lot more than I do now. But things going on. Coco Gauff is out at Wimbledon, and who's that young lady? Keys. She had that could have been a quarterfinal matchup between the two Americans. She was making a nice run, but she had to withdraw because of an injury. But anyway, we got NBA news as well. Not really a lot of hockey news today, but a lot of NHL news. And with that, we say good morning to Angel Martinez. Angel, how was your 4th of July? And how was everybody's 4th of July, as a matter of fact? Hopefully yours was well. Mine was. Thanks to my good friends, Dave and Marie, for having an awesome cookout. We had a ball. The weather was perfect because if the 4th of July was one day late, Angel, in the afternoon, it would have been a freaking washout. At least down here in Southwest Florida. I don't know about you up in Tampa. How are you doing?
I am doing excellent, other than obviously the midnight oil. I don't know if you guys can kind of still see the oil and the steam coming out of my ear here as there's some new stuff going on here on the network, which will be a lot of fun. There's also, if you guys are listening in currently on the app, I know Jerry from Rhode Island, guess from Guy, you guys, normally there's the app that we've been telling you guys to download. Well, guess what? There's going to be a rebrand. So there's a new app. You guys can go to the website over to sr1029thegame.com. And if it comes up as broadstreetsoft.com, it's both the same. So sr1029thegame.com. And you can download the app from there. You'll see it. There's a picture right up there. It'll tell you can download it to your tablet, PC, Mac, Android, and Apple. One-stop shop, one click, and you'll be able to do it. So the neat features, and I'll repeat this again probably at 8 o'clock hour for those who tune in at 8, because we know we have our early morning fans and then our later fans. But the nice part will be on the app now currently. Not only can you listen to the show on the new system the way I have it laid out, but you can also watch the show live. I know there's been a request from some folks saying, can you watch and hear it all in the same place? Now you can. Not only that, you can also text the show right from the app and call the show right from the app. So,
look at you.
Yeah, there was a lot of work.
Yeah, the phone number is always to call or text 727-858-6650. Again, the video platform here, Coastal Sports Network, unbelievable. Same as before. We're just adding some stuff. Twitter X. You can follow me there at pshep326 on my Facebook and Broad Street South Facebook pages, on YouTube, Ion TV. We love Ion TV. Spotify, LinkedIn, Twitch, Rumble, Core Sports Radio 102.9. And again, we welcome also on Coastal Sports Network on Twitter as well, which is handle CSN Florida. Yes, yep. CSN Florida. So 727-858-6650. And first of all, our friends in Texas, especially in the Houston, Galveston area, be safe. I don't have to tell you, Hurricane Beryl is a Cat 1, but nevertheless very powerful. I saw some disturbing images this morning on the news from out there. And man, has that area gotten whacked the last few years with some storms. But hopefully everybody in that part of the state, you're going to be okay. But those of you around Nashville, and you think it's curving up, it's going to go through Arkansas, Nashville, and up through towards New England there. And if you are headed to New England this weekend, good luck, because you're going to get nothing but rain probably from Wednesday on. It's going to be brutal the way that storm has traveled. We were lucky here. We get lucky. Someone else has to pay for it, but we got lucky here this week. For this particular storm, that was a doozy. Poor Jamaica got whacked. Oh, parts of it really, really got whacked. So that was a powerful Cat 5 hurricane.
Yeah, same way with the Grenadines or Grenada, depending on how people are stated. But we saw some of the boats from some of the videos we were watching yesterday on the news, where some of the boats were basically like one on top of the other as they were all sinking down, and it looked like a parking lot of boats but going underwater. So yeah, that was a very massive, early, powerful storm for this time of the year.
Speaking of a powerful storm, my beloved Red Sox, here they are, a game and a half up for the final wild card, like a half a game behind the Twins and like 3 games behind the Yankees. And they are, both teams, the Red Sox and Yankees, are headed in opposite directions. I can't even believe, it's unbelievable. Last night, watched the whole game. Red Sox blanked the Yankees 3-0. They take 2 out of 3. Rafael Devers hits 8,000 home runs at the stadium, at Yankee Stadium. And he said, okay, I was close, Angel, 16 so far. But he just owns them. He owns Yankee Stadium. It is Rafael Devers. I said a couple more last night. Garrett Cole is Rafael Devers' worst nightmare. Call him your daddy, whatever else you want to call him, but Rafael Devers owns Garrett Cole. The blast he hit off of him the other day was brutal. Even though the Red Sox ended up losing that game, that put the Red Sox up, I think, 4-3 at the time. What? just a bomb. And that's I think his 7th homer off of him. But it was a good game yesterday, very well pitched game on both sides. Hill for the Yankees, tough loss for him, 6 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run. But Cutter Crawford was outstanding last night. There were times I think he had an 8-pitch inning, a 9-pitch inning, a 7-pitch inning. He could have gone the whole way. I'm kind of surprised it took him out, to be honest with you. But he had 7 strong innings last night. 4 hits, no earned runs, obviously. The Yankees stink right now. Oh, I love saying that. It's true. They stink. They've been terrible since June. It really had. Devers had, again, Devers 16 homers at Yankee Stadium, 28 against the Yankees. He's hitting .463. That's 19 for 41, 7 homers and 10 RBIs in the last 10 games in the Bronx. That's just. So the Sox have won 6 of 7. They're 16-6 in the last 22. And Angel, they're 14-1 on Sundays.
Wow.
The Yankees, meanwhile, 13-16 against the American League East. They've lost 2 of 3 to the Red Sox. They're 0-6-1 in their last 7 series. Started when they lost 2 of 3 at Fenway. That was back on June 14th through the 16th. They were shut up for the 6th time this year, but the first time since April 29th. And the Red Sox, 9 shutouts, 2 behind Major League leading Atlanta, who, unfortunately for you yesterday, blanked your Phillies 6-0, but your Phillies are fine. You're still in good shape. So we'll talk more about that and with Bill Sparrows coming up. The disturbing thing, so as the Red Sox were stupid enough, and we talked about this before, Angel, to give you guys Dave Dombrowski, who's one of the dumbest things the Red Sox have ever done, getting rid of a GM, and he's doing what he did for the Red Sox. People do not realize, or they may have forgotten, that Dave Dombrowski, like Rafaela, was signed under Dombrowski. Jaron Duran, Carter Crawford, all drafted under Dave Dombrowski. So, but somehow he wasn't good enough to draft, and I don't know. It was, and he also signed Bello and Houck. So, and now he's with you guys, and you get the best record in baseball, I believe, right now.
Yeah.
And a bunch of all-stars, which we will get to. But the disturbing thing, the only thing disturbing, after Buster Olney last night said this on the pregame show, that the message executives are getting is the Red Sox are, quote, undecided on whether to buy or sell at the deadline. They currently hold the playoff spot, again, a game and a half ahead on the Royals. I don't understand how you can be undecided. It infuriates me. Undecided. That was before they won 3-0 last night. Look, they got to be buy. If they are not buyers here, that's going to be a real big issue. You can't be in the race. You're in this thing. You're proving you're in this thing. Somehow, some way, it is working. Alex Cora right now, to me, is going to get manager of the year if this keeps up. Because considering who they lost, who was injured, who was banged up to start the season, they lose Chris Sale, who's doing great for the Braves. But this Red Sox team is fun to watch. They got some moxie. They got some grit. And they're getting unexpectedly real good pitching. But
what was the change? Because remember, before the season kicked off, we were talking about how the Red Sox weren't even going to be contenders whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, they've kind of turned things around without really adding a whole bunch of key pieces during the offseason.
No, it's been everybody. I mean, in addition to Duran, you got the rookies who are doing well. Look, there's something about this team, and they're getting the pitching has been unexpectedly very good. That was the big question mark. I remember we had Steve Buckley on way back in early March, and we was like, because I and many others thought this team was going to finish in last place. Right there, if there's such a thing as a respectable last place, something where you win 78 to 80 games, something like that. You finish a couple games under 500. Well, we talked with Buck, and it was like, if this, if that. I think there were 7 ifs that he said. And if, 6 of those 7 or 5 of those 7 come to fruition, then this team can contend. Well, guess what, man? They're doing it. They're doing it. They are contending, and they are not far behind the Yankees, and they have owned the Yankees, especially at their place, very last couple of years. So it's going to get really, really interesting with the Yankees as well. Now, I mean, a lot of teams go through this. It's baseball. I understand you're going to go through ruts, peaks and valleys, because I don't know if you ever heard this before, Angel, but the Major League Baseball season is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon. So the old cliche. But you got to, if you're a Red Sox fan, there's some people who still say they're not buying into it yet. I'm just about there. Some people are saying, well, it's eyebrow raising, but they have that typical New England pessimistic stuff pre-2004. I'm not saying this team can go on and win the World Series. I don't care about that. You just get in the tournament, as they say. You get in, as we saw Arizona last year, remember, Angel? Just get in, and anything can happen. Anything is possible. So... Anyway, so besides that, I've also, I heard something interesting the other day as well, besides sports news, because I got some lists today. Some are sports related, some are entertainment related. And just getting back to the 4th of July, real quick, Angel, how did you do any cookouts, anything like that? Or were you just so busy? And you got to talk about the Orlando Predators too. Unfortunately, their season ended. You did a great job, and that was on CBS Sports Network as well. And I want you to talk about that too, about how that day must have been interesting, with it being on national TV and all that stuff as well, and you calling the Spanish play-by-play. Well, just getting back to 4th of July, how was your 4th? Did you did you just kind of stay put, or were you anything cookout-ish, anything?
Now we hear the fireworks in the distance. That's about it. Of course, like everybody just, it's different here than it is in Philly. Philly, of course, you hear the fireworks basically from June 15th all the way through like July 15th. But around here, normally it's usually the people around here are pretty good. They usually wait until like the 4th, and then they'll do it for like 3 extra days. And, it's like the leftover fireworks stuff. But no, there was so much that had to do with, with
Yeah.
rebranding and the app on the rebuild and so much stuff that the hours ran one into the next. And so we really didn't have an opportunity to do anything whatsoever. And of course, my lovely wife is recovering from her shoulder surgery. So she really couldn't ride in the car because she had to kind of lean forward because of her back. But no, we really didn't get to do much. We're probably going to have some lunch today, step out and away from the studio in the house because it's just been nonstop helter-skelter type stuff to get things lined up here with the new Twitter handle. It's going to be also on Instagram and on Facebook as well. So now we didn't get a chance to do much, but it's fine because I think I'm trying to think what we did last year. Matter of fact, I think we went local last year. No, matter of fact, we went to the Threshers game last year, the minor league baseball team, because they put on amazing fireworks. And so if we don't do that, then we're normally down at Clearwater Beach. But this year we stayed put. And from what I understand, it was probably a good thing anyways, because here in the Tampa region, when you have the 4th on a Thursday, a lot of people will take off Wednesday and Friday or at least Friday and extend their weekend. So there was a lot of folks drinking and driving, so the roads weren't too safe because people like to party in their boats and then they forget they have to drive home, and so there was just a lot of stuff that was going on around here.
Yep, absolutely. Well, hopefully everybody had a great 4th, because if the 4th was on the 5th, people would have been angry, and there's no way you wouldn't even be able to do fireworks on the 5th. Mm-hmm. That was massive thunder and lightning mostly all day and well into the night as well. But we got lucky. The 4th was overall, it was hot, but down here, but it was beautiful. Hopefully wherever you are around the country and around the world listening to this fine show on this network, that you had a great 4th of July too, although they don't celebrate around the world the 4th of July like we do. Or maybe they do. Maybe if you're a transplanted American in Europe, you have your own 4th of July.
They probably do, I would think. I mean, you figure there's folks in Canada that like to celebrate. I mean, it's not their Independence Day, but they like to celebrate it. They make a big deal. Australia's now kind of come on board and make somewhat of a deal about it.
Hello, Perth. Hello.
Exactly.
What about New Zealand? I know Australia and New Zealand is a kind of a little rivalry there, the Kiwis and all that stuff. But New Zealand's a beautiful country too.
Yeah, no, and for sure. And there's a lot of folks have gone there that they've liked that. They love Sweden.
You know why I want to go to? You know why I want to go to New Zealand?
Why's that?
Is because what famous trilogy took place over there?
Is that Harry Potter?
No, but you're close. You're in the same kind of neighborhood, although a little different. No, Harry Potter's mostly England, I think. But,
England.
But in New Zealand, no, it was Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh,
so
that's right.
They still have Hobbitville there. Like people go there to go see where some of the scenes took place. Because I mean, what Peter Jackson did, the amount of time it took to build some of those sets is just crazy over there. So I've seen some behind the scenes stuff on some of the DVDs. Does anybody buy DVDs anymore? My laptop doesn't even have a DVD. You can't even put a DVD in anymore. Does anybody buy DVDs anymore?
Yeah, because we stream everything. It's like the cars, right? Most cars now don't even come with a CD player anymore because no one's buying CDs. I think my Rogue is the last car that has an actual built-in CD player.
I have a Rogue also. I think mine has a CD player built into it. I'm pretty sure it does. It's a few years old, thanks to Naples Nissan down in Naples, Florida.
Speaking of, by the way, for the one thing that we did do is we came across, who's my actor here? Walter White.
Oh yeah, Bryan Cranston.
There you go. Yeah. This guy does not make anything bad, and maybe I'm late to the party, but if you guys have not watched Your Honor on Netflix,
I haven't. I gotta watch it. I saw the previews. It looked fantastic. You're right. He's so good. And the only movie he wasn't good in, it's because they killed him off way too early. He was very good in it, and they killed him off. Was the Godzilla movie, the first remake, the second remake, I should say, when it was Godzilla, and he was in it for about 15 minutes, and then he got killed, not by Godzilla, I think by explosion. But it's funny because I remember watching the previews. He must have said, I don't know, 12 or 13 lines tops, but in the previews you saw like everything that he said. And, to pump up the movie at the time. whenever that came out, 8 years ago or 90, whenever that was. And then he died. Then they killed him off. And then you had what's his name from Friday Night Lights, the head coach, be the star of the next several movies as well. But yeah, Your Honor looks excellent. Everything he does is excellent. From Seinfeld back in the day, from when he was the dentist, obviously through Breaking Bad. He's just he's a tremendous actor.
Yeah, this series you're really going to enjoy. There's a throwback character in there. I won't even say who it is, but it's a really good series. We end up been watching the whole thing, so we're done with it. But it's so freaking good, and it makes you scratch your head because he directed it, and so you can tell there was some of the stuff that he's learned from the past to be able to put it in there. But now it's like it sucks because it's just one of those things that you wait and see what's going to happen. Will there be yet another season? So I really hope so.
No question. So I'm still trying to figure out where this ranking the best TV shows of all time. Speaking of Breaking Bad, and I got the top 50 here. Now I will just tell you this right out of the gate: the notable omissions here. And I'm trying to find out what because I retweeted what Jerry Thornton found it, and notable omissions. South Park and shows from pre-1990 besides Twilight Zone. The way too lows were The Shield, Justified, and Seinfeld, and the way too high, I kind of agree with Jerry, Last of Us and Friends. And incredibly on this list, Angel, is that All in the Family is not in the top 50, which is I've never seen a list in my life of great TV shows and not have All in the Family, unless I missed it. I'm looking, it's not here. It's amazing. They have shows like Deadwood. I mean, they're all these shows they listed are very good. But like they have The Americans at number 49. I watched The Americans. That was fantastic. It should be way higher than 49. That series was amazing. Took place in the 80s. Great music, about Russian spies during the Reagan administration that infiltrated as Americans and into the workforce and everything else, but meanwhile working for the KGB. That was a tremendous series. Did you ever see that by chance?
No, but
you would love it.
Looking at the list, though, it looks like they I want to say they stopped it early on.
They stopped it. Yeah, I mean they have Breaking Bad 1, which I have no problem with.
Right.
They have Game of Thrones 2, which I love Game of Thrones. I don't know if I'd put it 2, which is certainly fantastic. Chernobyl at 3. Sopranos at 4. Band of Brothers, which I saw, which was excellent, 5. The Wire 6. I tell you right now, I would put The Wire at 2 or 3. That is a great show.
Yep.
I think Better Call Saul, while being excellent, the prequel to Breaking Bad, they got that at 7. That's a little too high for me for that one. They have Stranger Things, which I love. We're still waiting for the final series. At number, I don't know if that should be number 8. Sherlock, which is a great series that I've seen, starring Benjamin Cumberbatch. Fantastic if you haven't seen it. Peaky Blinders is another one that you need closed caption for. That's on Netflix about the early English mafia and all that stuff. I mean, early stuff around before Prohibition. It is really, really good, but you need closed captioning. The Twilight Zone at number 11. Fleabag, which is also very, but 12. Like some of these are way, way too high. Some of these are way too high. Mr. Robot, which was on USA back in the day, that was okay. Number 24. The Boys is going on right now. Have you watched The Boys on Amazon?
Yeah, I've watched it.
I can't do it anymore. I can't. I've given it all. I saw the first 2 episodes, Angel. There's only so much head decapitations that are needed in a series, And it's getting a little ridiculous. It's almost comical how poorly I think the scenes are. It looks like a cartoon. It's gotten so stupid that I can't even deal with it anymore. I don't know how you guys feel about it, or how you feel about it.
No, because I'm the same way too. Like if it gets, then it's almost like, what was the other one on AMC? Where it was the same thing. They had zombies and stuff where they had a friggin'.
Oh yeah, Walking Dead.
Yeah, it was like I think the first 2 seasons, the first season definitely was good, which led into season 2, and I think they did a really good job. After a while, it's like, okay, all right. How many times now, we're this new village and this and that, but it was punching decapitation. I'm the same way too. I'm like, all right, just throwing some
I got through the first 2 seasons of Walking Dead, and then I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it. I just got bored with it. I'm like, how many zombies can you freaking have? And then you had the almost zombies who were going to be zombies. And then they started to change the rules.
Yeah.
If you get bit, you're a zombie.
Yeah. Well, no, because they had their own magical vaccination that they can come up with. It was just, there were certain things that I don't know. I liked it, but I watched it. There was one on this list that was up there. I think, where the heck was it? That I looked like, not Fargo. One of them that was it 28? I got to look for it again.
28, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
There was one, I thought it was ranked way too high.
Not Mad Men. Succession, The Office. The Office at 17, that'll piss some people off.
Yeah, it will.
And I'm not an Office person. I know it's a good show. I know it's well done. I know it's well written. I couldn't get into it. I could not get into it.
It was that I liked it for sure. I mean, you can swap it with your friends. I know everybody enjoyed Friends. It was great. But you can see, here's the other thing. When you get writers, when you don't pay them X amount of dollars, and then you're saying, oh, we're going to just replace them with other people. Friends, the final season absolutely sucked. Did it really? Horrible. Yeah, it was horrible because the lines didn't make any sense. How they were putting the characters together. I mean, because obviously the actors got paid. That's when they were getting $1 million an episode. And
how many times is Joey going to say, "How you doing?" I mean,
right? It was the final season was just so bad. But
all right,
man, what was one?
Yeah, Friends. I've seen Friends, bits and pieces of it. I mean, I like it. I don't love it because I didn't see every episode, but I heard the same things you did about the end. I've seen bits and pieces of every single season. There's some real funny moments in there, and then there's some that go, oh, God. Did they make a Friends movie? No, they made the Sex and the City movie. That's right.
Yeah. Is that up there? That's not even up there, is it?
Nope.
Holy crap. That
should be that. You're right. That probably should be up there. I mean, they got Hannibal up there. I watched Hannibal. I enjoyed it. Lawrence Fishburne was in that too. They used to be on Friday nights at 9:00. You talk about disgusting, some of the stuff. And I forget the guy who played Hannibal, but it was well done. It lasted like 3 seasons, but I don't know if they got that at 39. They got The Bear at 40. Now the Bear's only about 2.5 seasons old, and I'm trying to get through the 3rd season. So far, it's a little disappointing. It's a little. It's about the chef and everything else in the Chicago area. You watch it, and the cameras are like this on everybody. It's close. The action is intense, and you feel stressed. It's one of those shows, Angel. We talked about this. You feel stressed after you watch it, like you're going to watch a comedy or something to calm you down after. Because you're sitting there like, I'm this, and they mustered through. I think it was episode 3 of season 3, and. Fuck you. No, F you. F this. F no. F. They did. It was like Scarface back. It was actually funny, but there must have been like 16 F-bombs exchanged between 2 of the main characters in the kitchen. It got so stupid that it was actually funny. Tim says you guys are missing out. Walking Dead is fantastic. Never give up on a series. Walking Dead, the ones who live, outstanding. There's a gnat in here. Yeah, no, it's to each his own. I'm not saying I thought the first 2 seasons were well done, and maybe I have to rethink it because I say the same thing, Tim, about people who shit on Breaking Bad. I'm like, you can't, you gotta. That to me is the best series ever. You can make a case for The Wire as number 2.
Yeah,
for me. As far for drama, see, this is where you have to separate. I know we got to take a break, but this is where it's very hard to put Seinfeld and The Office in the same grouping with Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead. It's very difficult to do that. So if you want to, obviously this is an all-time list. How All in the Family is not in the top 50, it makes me question the entire list. That's all.
That should be there. And, okay, the reason why it's probably not there is because of this new way of thinking where the Jeffersons and Good Times and Happy Days. Happy Days is not even in there. Granted,
I know.
as well.
But,
But
you
that's
know,
the
I
thing.
would normally agree with Angel, but there's a lot of other edgy series in here, that, just because Norman Lear was poking fun at bigots and everything else, that certainly could have qualified on this list. I mean, mostly the Boys is on here, Angel. It doesn't get any more graphic or wacko. I don't care what All in the Family did. The worst moments that you might think, was it episode 3, season 1? When one of boys all have superpowers. When that thing shrunk down, that one guy shrunk down and went inside the man's genitals, and then he got big and blew up. It doesn't get any more graphic and worse than that, does it? I mean, every man on the planet went, "Holy shit! Did we just see that?" Like, I had to rewind it a couple. I was like, "That didn't just happen," but it did. One of the superpowers guys shrinks down, goes into his buddy genitals, and then sneezes. Remember that? He sneezed and by accident got big again. Well, obviously, that was that. That'll be that. And that's the end of that, as Tom Bosley once said on Happy Days. All right, quick break. It is the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network. The video platform is outstanding. Follow me and follow us at PShep326. The Facebook and Broad Street South Facebook pages, YouTube, Ion TV, powered by them. Powerful. Spotify, LinkedIn, Twitch, Rumble, and of course on Sports Radio 102.9 as they do the show here at the Sola della Cucina here in beautiful Fort Myers. The phone number is 727-858-6650. Coming up a little bit later on, when we come back, we'll have some recap sound from some stuff that happened over the weekend. At 8:15, to get the Red Sox report brought to you by Moynihan Lumber. At 8:30, we'll have Bill Spiros as well from senior betting analyst from bookies.com and great columnist for the Boston Herald. Tim says, finally, I just saw Breaking Bad last year, binge watch, great show. Now I'm watching Game of Thrones 2 seasons in. Yeah, keep it going, Tim. Yeah, Game of Thrones is another one. I mean, there's not many. There are a lot of decapitations of all body parts in Game of Thrones. That's all I can tell you. It gets better and better. They really rushed through the last season. But when I watched the last season again, still feel a little disappointed, but nevertheless, Tim, you'll love it. All right. Quick break, Angel. And then when we come back, more on this, more lists and more fun and frivolity here on the Pete Sheppard Show right here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Ion Tampa Bay is the latest news, weather, and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, IonTP.com. Ion Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, the game powered by Ion Tampa Bay. We'll be right back.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class. Let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Awesome. Where were you, Jill?
Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
The Pete Sheppard Show. It's fun for the whole family. If it's dysfunctional.
What? Who said that? I'm a little dysfunctional. That's all right. You know, otherwise, if we're all functional all the time and not somewhat dysfunctional, a little kooky wacky like I am, I mean, the world will be boring, right?
Yep.
Boring. Exactly. Christ. You know. Anyway, welcome back to the Pete Sheppard Show. Only until 9 a.m. today because the one and only Angel Martinez has to get some stuff he's got to get going on. But we will have middays with Q today from noon to 2 p.m. I almost said midnight to 2 a.m. Good God. Noon to 2 p.m. Today, middays with you with Rich Quinones, and then 2:30 today, Angel. One of our new shows is starting up.
Yes, Marshall Time podcast with Jonathan and Josh Marshall. Jonathan normally is on with Rich Q on middays with Q. He covers the Boston Celtics, also covers the Sixers. Him and his brother on. They'll be talking about the draft and how they feel about how everyone did. Not grading it. They're just talking about how everybody did. But yes, that will be starting Monday through Friday at 2:30, 3:30. And then later on throughout the day, you'll end up getting the repeats of these shows throughout the day. So there's more changes coming to the radio portion of things. And as the shows get lined up, and then, of course, we've got football seasons getting wrapped up. So some of you guys that were with me last season, some of those shows will be back as well. A couple of my friends over in Green Bay do a great job with the Packers. So there's more stuff that's coming.
Absolutely. And I'm sure when football season starts, not only are we going to have Field Yates from ESPN on, but I have another big surprise. I don't want to jinx it and announce it yet. I'll probably announce it tomorrow or Wednesday. Someone that I have the utmost, I know you guys do too. You know this man. He's going to be on with me, hopefully a couple hours a week, every day to start. We're hoping on Saturday during football season, because I plan on doing a 10 a.m. to noon show on Saturday during college football season. Breaking everything down, and we'll have a gambling segment. There's no question about it. Gabe Morency will be back joining us every Friday as well, and maybe even a little bit on Saturday. So lots going on here. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's about to be a super busy network for sure, which is it's a lot of fun. By the way, those who are tuning in for the first time since we launched the show this morning. Have another, I'll repeat what I said at 7 o'clock at the top of the hour when now we have more folks who tune in, but also the shows will continue as normal, except for those who follow myself and Pete on our current Twitter handles. You guys can go over to Coastal Sports Network, and the handle is CSN Florida, as in Charlie Sierra November, Florida, CSN Florida. Give us a follow there because these shows will then start streaming live from that account. There's reasons for what we do around here, which is part of all the madness that I end up doing behind the scenes. But everybody can give us a follow there. And of course, if you follow us, we'll follow you right back because it's only fair. So follow us over on CSN Florida, which is Coastal Sports Network Florida. The Instagram is also up. And Facebook will be up here probably by the end of the day today as the time ran out for me for all the stuff that I was doing.
Yeah, which was you're doing the job of like 15 people. It's ridiculous. You are an absolutely amazing individual, seriously. But also you can also keep it on my Twitter and my Facebook pages, right? All the shows are going to be on that as well. Correct?
Sure. Not. Sure.
Oh, okay. just double checking. All right. So before we get into, I wanted to play some sound, some NBA sound, Angel. But before that, Orlando Predators. I saw they did a great job. I watched their preview highlight show on Facebook and Twitter. They had a great preview video and everything else. I thought you might be in it. You should have been in it. But somewhere along the way, I know it was a big deal because they were on CBS Sports Network as well. So what was your day like? It was Friday night, right?
So it was Friday night,
yeah.
CBS Sports, so the final week of the season, to kind of throw it back before the playoffs came in, Albany was supposed to have traveled to us here in Orlando. Because of scheduling conflicts and the way things end up coming out, Albany felt like they didn't need to fly down to Florida. It was just one of those things. And it wasn't like it was... There's going to be 50 million stories out there on social media. It's not because they didn't want to. They just figured, okay, we've already played each other damn near 4 times this season, which we weren't supposed to. It was only supposed to be twice. But because of the reshifting, realigning, then the AFL said, you know what, we're just going to scrap the final week of the season. Everybody just gets the week off so they can kind of get rested up, and some of the players have been injured can come back. And so Nashville ended up coming into town. Of course, the last time the Cats were at the Kia Center, they almost came back to win, but thankfully the Predators held off to win it. But CBS Sports, who was supposed to have been since the initial kickoff of the season, they were supposed to have been there for every single game. Well, they finally made a deal with them at the very end. And so we were told in our ops meeting on Wednesday that CBS Sports was coming. So they set up everything, had themselves a good broadcast. Adrian, the guy that normally takes care of a lot of in-house stuff, he was off, but he did such a phenomenal job. It went flawless with CBS Sports. So we were supposed to be at the Kia Center because of Debbie's operation. She could not make the car ride for a long time, and she's everywhere with me. So we were at home doing the setup, but I got to see a lot of behind the scenes stuff that was going on up there. But it was just a very, very disappointing outcome. If I'm going to be completely 100% honest and transparent, I don't know what team showed up on Friday night because it was not the same team that were 5-2 and were ready to at least go up to Jersey for the Arena Bowl. But, things happened. It didn't look too well. Congratulations to the Cats. If anybody should end up taking it for the season, should be the Cats the way they've played. But it was a fun season filled with a lot of turmoil. Hopefully next year will iron out a lot of stuff, and there could be something else coming up too.
They need to take they talk about a copycat league. They need to the rest of the league needs to take some notes on how the Orlando Predators handle their business in a very professional manner. That's what they need to do.
Yep, they did.
That's what they need to do.
Yeah, from top to bottom. And I will say this much. Laura, the dance team instructor, she does, and you guys can, by the way, you can visit her dance group because they're
I'm going to try out next year for that. What am I
sure. Why not? It'll be just get yourself loaded up because she put a crazy show, but she's you guys can take a look. They do performances away from the Orlando Predators as well from the Kia Center, but they just did a Vegas type show about 3 weeks ago. Did such a fantastic job that she got rehired for the same thing. But Laura, IT John, the owner, John Chaney, Sean Knapp, the GM. I mean, the team, everybody who I met this season they were so much fun to work with. And there was no turmoil, even amongst all the crazy ops meetings that we had, that we know this is supposed to happen. And then things change. The way they handle it is probably, I would say, one of the better teams in the AFL. And again, this then the Homer talk. It's just, I saw how Sean and John and everybody else are working, and they put out the best product they possibly could. And let's not forget either, they lost a ton of money because of the way the AFL did not kick off the season. So they could have folded shop if they wanted to, but they made a commitment. They made a commitment with the fans. The fans said, nope, we're going to be there and stand behind you guys. So thanks to the Predators. And next year, there might be some bigger and better things. So I'm thankful to be a part of the organization, and they welcome me back for next season. Should be a lot of fun.
That's great. And I mean, they certainly have all the bells and whistles. They're in the perfect city for that kind of stuff. And, it seemed like, fans were having a good time. I was watching a little bit early on. It's just a shame that Orlando didn't have it that game, but still a first-class organization. So that's fantastic. All right. Let's move on to the All-Stars for a second here. Major League Baseball All-Star rosters are out. Some interesting numbers here for the All-Star game. Features 32 first-time All-Stars and 19 players under the age of 27. So, trying to reach the younger viewers, that's the way to do it. Of course, the game's going to be played again on next week at Global Life Field in Texas. The group of first-time All-Stars named last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, includes Kansas City Royals shortstop Bobby Witt Jr., yes, the son of that guy who used to pitch. Very hard at times, too. Cincinnati Reds shortstop Ellie De La Cruz. San Diego Padres rookie outfielder Jackson Merrill. Oakland A's closer Mason Miller, who is not going to be there much longer, I can tell you that. Pittsburgh Pirates rookie right-hander Paul Skeens. If you haven't seen Paul Skeens picked, and those of you from Louisiana, I know you know who he is. We went to LSU when they won the national championship a couple of years ago. He has been crazy good as a rookie. He is phenomenal. I hope he gets the start for the National League and became the first player to be named to an All-Star in an All-Star this season after being selected number 1 overall in the draft. Merrill, by the way, is 21, the youngest player chosen on either roster. And Orioles shortstop Gunnar Henderson, 22 years old. He's the youngest player on the American League team after being elected a starter by the fans. Some other numbers. Neither roster has a player with double-digit All-Star appearances. Royals catcher Salvador Perez named American League Reserve. Astros second baseman Jose Altuve elected an American League starter by the fans to lead the pack with 9 selections each. Philadelphia Phillies first baseman Bryce Harper, Dodgers first baseman Freddie Freeman, Dodgers shortstop Mookie Betts, and Atlanta Braves lefty Chris Sale, all-stars for the 8th time. Harper will start after being the National League's top vote getter. Freeman, Betts, and Sale were selected as reserves, though Betts will not play because of the busted hand. Let's see. For Betts, it was his first selection as an infielder. He's had 7 as an outfielder. We'll see with the Red Sox. Wish we could get players like that. One of 5 Dodger pitchers and reserves named to the National League All-Star team on Sunday, joined by Freeman, catcher Will Smith, outfielder Teoscar Hernandez, righty Tyler Glasnow. And they brought the club's total of All-Stars to 6 after Shohei Ohtani was named the National League starting DH member last Wednesday. It's the 5th straight year they've had at least 5 All-Stars. So only the Phillies, your Phillies, Angel, owners of the best record in the majors for most of the year, are better represented. 7 Phillies on the team, 4 of them. All pitchers were named to the National League team on Sunday. Zach Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, Matt Stram, Jeff Hoffman. They joined Harper, Trey Turner, and Alex Bohm as the elected starters. Padres had 5 All-Stars as well. Cleveland Indians, my Red Sox have 3 All-Stars named. Rafael Devers, outfielder Jaron Duran, and right-hander Tanner Houck. Yankees closer Clay Holmes was named to the American League team Sunday, following outfielders Aaron Judge and Juan Soto selections as well. So you're leading the way with 7 there, Angel. 7.
Yep. Love my Phillies, don't get me wrong. Yesterday, I don't know if someone had the itchy trigger finger when it came to the pitchers being named for the All-Star. Zach Wheeler, after they lost 6-0, They decided to put a tweet out saying, the wanted poster, and it put Zach Wheeler. 6 tweets in a row, the same one. And I don't know if somebody was just sitting there like, hey, did it go through? No, let me send it again. You sure it didn't go through? Let me send it again. So, it's goofy stuff. But, I'm very happy with the Phillies have done so far this season. Again, it's still early on. It's before the All-Star break. It's also, I believe, in Phillies team history, is the longest that they have not traveled to Atlanta until July, when normally we're there either April, May, like May by the latest. But it's the first time I think that it's been since July before the first trip to Atlanta. But proud of what they've done. They still have a long way to go as far as pitching, like most teams do. Still in a desperate need of a middle, long, and a closer, but can't complain. The boys are doing well.
They are, like I said, they are going to go after Miller.
Yep.
Guaranteed. They will go after Miller for the Oakland A's.
Yep.
You got to give, but I mean, there's few opportunities to win now. So I expect the Angel and his Philadelphia Phillies to make a serious run at him. There's any question about it. I mean, there won't be every team in contention should make a run out of him, but Mason Miller, who just looking at his stats this year, I mean, the righty out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This season, he's been in 31 games. And where the hell is it? He's where's his record? I hate when that happens. He's been in 31 games this year. He's 37 and 2/3 of an innings, given up only 18 hits, 13 runs, 10 earned, 3 homers. Struck out 66 in 37 innings and walked only 14. So he's going to, although in the last week he has no saves, only 2 strikeouts, and got lit up a little bit in the last 7 days. His ERA is 18, and his WHIP in the last 7 days is 3. But he has been fantastic for most of the season for the A's. 727-858-6650. That is the number to call. Angela, if we can go to Total Sports Prep, into the NBA. There's some NBA news as the Sacramento Kings get DeMar DeRozan in a sign and trade deal with the Chicago Bulls. And if we could play the cut, Angel, of Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN breaking down how this deal happened.
How did this finally get to the finish line? How did we get this done?
Well, I think the Kings were the one team with real interest beyond their mid-level exception in DeMar DeRozan. So they were pretty persistent in the last week of trying to get Chicago engaged in this sign and trade. Listen, when you trade for DeMar DeRozan, especially as he's about to turn 35, you are trading for offense. He can still score the ball. You have certainly seen his defense deteriorate as he's gotten older, but this is still a 24, 25-point-a-game scorer. The Kings look at the West. They see other teams improving. And they moved Harrison Barnes out, who played a significant role in getting this team back into the postseason. But they still believe DeRozan has, some good basketball left in him. And now he'll take center stage with, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis. And this is a team in Sacramento that wants to get out of the play-in and back into the playoffs.
They're banking on 3 years, $74 million worth of offense. That's Woj.
Yeah, there is 3 years, $74 million deal for DeMar DeRozan going to Sacramento. The Kings are trading forward Harrison Barnes and an unprotected 2031 pick swap to San Antonio and guard Chris Duarte. What?
Huh?
Oh, no, I'm every time I start talking, sometimes my legs shake, and the peanut gallery thinks I'm going to break the chair. But Chris Duarte, 2 second-round draft. I don't know where the hell I was. Now I'm
trade swap.
Whatever. It is what it is. So there it is in the NBA. All right. Now, Angel, also, let me set this up because this is kind of funny. Where is NASCAR? There we go. So in NASCAR, Chicago, at long last, Alex Bowman got a win and a spot in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. So, Angel, we could scroll all the way down past the MLB stuff on Total Sports Prep, which we'll get to in a second, and scroll down to NASCAR.
Okay.
And here is we'll play the first cut. Alex Bowman down the stretch, courtesy of NBC.
On the right-hand side, out the front of Alex Bowman's car, the Ally on board. Race for the lead, down into the heavy braking, turn 5. Bowman to the driver's right of Joey Hand. He goes by. Alex Bowman to the lead. Joey Hand tucks in line behind him. They race off 5 in reverse order, but nose to tail. Alex Bowman in that purple number 48.
Yes, Bowman held off Tyler Reddick on a rainy street course in downtown Chicago on Sunday, stopping an 80-race winless drought. After the race, Alex Bowman has, he's going to celebrate.
We're going to drink so much damn bourbon tonight. It's going to be a bad deal. I'm probably going to wake up naked on the bathroom floor again, but...
Probably going to wake up naked on the bathroom floor. I am proud to say that that has never happened to me. I've never passed out naked on the bathroom floor. On the bedroom floor, maybe. Or, I don't know, but I don't think so. Because if you're passing out, I don't think you're usually going to pass out naked. Some people might, but I think mostly if you're that inebriated when you get back to your domicile, you usually, if you're going to pass out, you got your clothes on, you're going to fall on the couch, and that's it. And I suppose you could try to take your clothes off and then pass out. Some people halfway get it done. Maybe halfway, you get halfway done, and it's just too much. Can't make it to the bed.
Yeah, there is, which is kind of the weirdest way to get an injury. But a friend of mine back home, they had I think it was a partial girls' night / husband night, whatever it was. They basically split the party in two. Well, anyways, everybody came home to continue drinking because they ended up both were smart. Both of the parties had vans, so none of them drove. So they went out. It was like the first time I think that like everybody's been able to go out and stuff, hang out all at one time because they moved out of the area. So they come back. They continue to drink. Husband takes the wife upstairs, and then probably the worst and funniest at the same time you can tear your ACL. Apparently, she decided to come off the bed so she can join everybody downstairs. And apparently, somehow or another got her foot on her heel the wrong way and ripped the ACL.
God.
And she had no idea because obviously she was hammered along with the rest of them. And then the following morning was hey, how come my legs are black and blue? And the pain. And that's when she found out that, yes, the ACL was torn.
Oh, that stinks.
Yep.
That is painful. Oh, my goodness. That is extremely painful. Oh, boy. Well, here we are, the Pete Sheppard Show. Only going to go until 9 a.m. today because Angel's got to do some stuff on the side. But Rich Quinona is in Middays with Q. We'll be here from noon to 2. And what's the official name of the new show at 2:30? The official name of it?
Marshall Time Podcast.
Marshall Time Podcast. So we'll be talking NBA today. Yep. And there's a lot going on.
Yep. And then tonight will be also on the network, Lloyd Vance's Insider Football, which Lloyd has every Monday night with Kevin Mitchell. That's at 8 p.m. That runs until about 9:15-ish. And then Wednesday night, of course, we normally have our Talking Hoop show, which last Wednesday, because they spoke about a lot about Angel Reese, obviously because I'm doing the production behind the scenes. The worst part was every time they would say Angel, but what? And they're not you. Thinking about Angel Reese.
Yeah, she had another double-double yesterday as well. Yeah. And Caitlin Clark had a triple-double, a big-time triple-double the other day. They're both going to be on the All-Star. That is going to be, and real quick, that's a great point. I'm glad you brought it up. That, to me, because the NBA All-Star game is a fucking joke. Everybody knows it. It's one of the worst things that it's a disgrace what it's become. But when you're talking about Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and others who are going to be on the WNBA All-Star team going to face the Olympic team, that to me is fascinating. I am definitely going to watch that. That is going to be great, especially some of the players on the All-Star team who believe they got snubbed that should have been on the Olympic team and vice versa. That is going to be that to me is drama. That is great. That is something the NBA should maybe consider. I don't know. Instead of just why even have it? It's become such a disgrace of a game. But the WNBA All-Stars against the Olympic team, I can get into that.
Well,
I can absolutely get into that.
The one thing that the gang talked about last Wednesday night was how about, kind of take this in consideration. What happens if the ladies who were not selected to that team, if they turn around and beat the product that we're sending to Paris? That would be the talk of the century.
Yeah, although again, you're talking about professionals against other professionals, so it's not, it's an upset, but it's not, it's not USA Russia 1980, where it's strictly college kids. If this was a college all-star team going up against WNBA all-stars and they beat them, maybe you make a case for that. But I'm wondering, and the other thing you're going to worry about if you're an Olympic team, if somebody gets hurt, how hard? Because I think the all-stars are going to play their asses off. That's going to be, and I'm wondering, what the Olympic team is going to be like, if they're going to really, really try and win, or just kind of get by and try to stay healthy. Because I know the WNBA All-Stars, some of those girls are pissed that they should have been on the Olympic team, and they're not. And that's going to be, to me, that's going to be some ultimate drama. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not sure what day it is. I think it's coming up, but I'm looking forward to it. Anywho, all right, quick break, 1 hour down. And coming up next hour at 8:15, we'll have the Red Sox report. We've got Major League Baseball rundown as well. 8:30, Bill Sparrows will join me, the senior betting analyst from bookies.com, and also great columnist for the Boston Herald. We'll get with his thoughts about what Red Sox upper management has said, that they're not sure what the hell they're going to do. 727-858-6650. Hour number 2 of the Pete Sheppard Show is next right here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have any body to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Pete Sheppard Show.
Welcome back. It's hour number 2 of the Pete Sheppard Show at Angel. Sorry for my delay. I was mesmerized. That looked like Fort Myers Beach in the background if you're watching it on the video, or maybe a beach up by your way, but it looked very similar to Fort Myers Beach. Some parts of it anyway. But where was that beautiful scenery you just had at that beach?
Parts of Clearwater.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Probably up your way. But beautiful area. That's where you got married. And it is awesome up there. Very, very lucky. From down here in Fort Myers all the way up to Clearwater. And where's the other place that we like to go?
Redington, Sarasota.
Oh, Treasure Island. Treasure Island is a really cool little place. If you've never been up that area, it's really fun. It's just you cross the bridge and it's like it's like a whole different environment.
Yeah.
And beautiful beaches over there, great bars and sports bars, and just fun people. Yeah, absolute fun people.
There's a hotel, and I'm going to give you for the folks who tune in here late, I'll give them the update as far as the new stuff that's going on. But no, there's one up there, Pete, that I forget the name of it. I'll find it anyways. Maybe push out to everybody later on the social medias. But so right in Treasure Island, there's the hotel that's right on the same level basically as Hooters. And the neat thing is that you pay for the room and it also pays for the parking. So you can come in and out of the parking as much as you want because it's covered in the room. And what was supposed to have been, which we found out the history behind it, just before COVID hit, there were supposed to have been offices that were supposed to be on the second level. And because of COVID, a lot of companies had to basically restructure the way they did things. So instead of taking a loss and then just having empty rooms there, they decided to redesign them and turn them into hotel rooms. Now, we've stayed there now twice, Debbie and myself.
Yep.
Beyond quiet. When you shut the door, it is so quiet you can't even tell what's going on outside, which is really nice. The amenities, it's just a place for you to basically literally lay your head. But it's really good amenities, comfortable bed, and the room's always nice and clean. And it's walking distance to everything you basically need there. So I'll have to bring that up. But yeah, Treasure Island is absolutely fantastic. So is Anna Maria Island, which is closer to your neck of the woods. That's really nice as well. But the other thing, for those who are tuning in, we thank you guys for tuning in here as well. The Pete Sheppard Show here. First thing in the morning, Coastal Sports Network. There is some rebranding that's going on. So if you guys have missed it, there is a new Twitter handle that is out there. If you guys follow us on Coastal Sports Network, the handle is CSN Florida, as in Charlie Sierra November, CSN Florida. You guys give us a follow. Of course, we'll follow you back there on CSN Florida. Also, I've redesigned and revamped the app. So we know we've been asking you guys to download the app. So please do me a favor. Go to sr1029thegame.com, as you guys see up there on the screen as always. Download the new app. Get rid of the old one. The new one is up. It is a complete redesign. And what's happening is now, because I've had requests from folks, you can not only hear the show live, you can actually watch the show live now on the app while you're on the go, you're on a plane or somewhere else. Of course, if you're driving, you want to listen, not watch. Also, you're able to text the show directly from the app. You're able to call the show directly from the app as well. And any updates that we got going on. Oh, and by the way, there's also push notifications. So let's just say there's something breaking that comes across. You guys have the app. Don't forget to turn on the notifications. If there's something that goes on, it will now come across the app. So that's been the reasons why the days that I was taking off was because there's only 24 hours in a day and it takes a long time to process all this stuff. And so I learned how to create an app from scratch. And so it was just a revamped design, which makes it just a lot better for everyone. And then you guys can look at the schedule, what's coming up and the different shows and all the good fun stuff. So yeah, it's a big redesign. So we asked you guys, get rid of the old existing app that's out there now. Download the one that's on there. It's right on the landing page. You guys can't miss it. There's a picture up there. Any device that you have. Now you don't even have to go to the App Store. All you have to do is to sr1029thegame.com. Click on the picture you see there, and it'll give you the instructions on how to put it on your Mac, your PC, the Android device, your app device, basically everywhere. So, and it's the same all the way throughout. So if you're watching it on let's say on your PC at home or at work or your Mac, you can download the app directly to your PC. So it was a mind-blowing mess to get it done, but we end up getting it done as things continue to improve and get better around here.
I just want people to really understand what you just heard. There are companies out there, terrestrial radio stations, that what Angel just talked about doing, usually 3 or 4 people do, if not more. I mean, I hope people appreciate and respect exactly how much hard work that this guy has done. Really, since we've been together at various places since January or late December, really. Of last year. And what you've done now, just with this and the way you do the app, you're doing the work of so many people, and I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart because. Without you being here, I could probably do it. But what you've done and what you have done and the production that you've done, and just even with Moynihan Lumber and putting everything in and with Ion TB and other sponsors that we're going to have and you're going to incorporate here. It really is. It's crazy, Angel, what you've done. And I tell you, I love you to death. And you are an amazing person for everything that you have done. Nobody appreciates it more than me, and those who don't, I wish I had $1 million because I'd give it to you because that's how much you're worth that much to me. You're an amazing person. What you do behind the scenes.
I try. Believe me, I appreciate anybody knows that. I always say I tried because what I do when I die, it's going to be on my tombstone. I tried because it's going to be past tense at that point. But no, because listen, one thing that I've learned being in the business is that you get people who want to mirror what you do and then you step it up one more. And then when they try to mirror what you do again, you step it up another time. So no other place right now, and you guys can go out there and take a look. Mm-hmm. No other place in the way the app was designed is doing the same exact thing. So it was a lot.
You make it so simple. It's a lot of work to make. The easier it is for listeners out there, the harder. It's not just Angel just doesn't snap his fingers. It takes a lot of man hours to come up with a web page and an app, and you've done it. Other people haven't done it. They've been trying to do it for years, some places, and can't get it done. So you've done it in a very short amount of time. Amazing person.
I try. Best thing I can say is I try.
Now, what I tried this weekend and was successful, actually was yesterday. Because, one of the things on my bucket list, before we get to the Red Sox report, which is coming up in a second. So, Angel, if you want to get that sound ready from the Red Sox, there's only 3 highlights, and they're all home runs. You know what they are, but I'll give you the background of the game as well as the Red Sox continue to beat up on the Yankees, especially in the Bronx, where there were a lot of Red Sox fans last night. But I booked my first time going with my buddy Lou, Mary. That's a Mary Tyler Moore joke.
Yeah.
For you guys who don't know. I know Angel gets it. Lou, Mary. I know my friend Lou, my good friend, the great attorney Lou Sorge, who's probably listening as well on the South Shore of Massachusetts. Oh, by the way, speaking of South Shore, I see this is what happened. I go down the road and I start. I can't get one little thought out of my head without it going. It's syncing up another. The kid from Cohasset, Massachusetts, a place for the Ben Rice. who is in the South Shore, Massachusetts. We had 3 home runs against the Red Sox and had 7 RBI on Saturday. Last night, as with most of the year, he went 0 for 4 leading off. An amazing story, though. I love to see local kids from New England do well in baseball always. And that was something to see Ben Rice do what he did. So if his family's listening, or you got friends in Massachusetts listening, even though he grew up a Yankee fan, which he did, congratulations to Ben. And continued success as long as it's not against the Red Sox. But so I finally booked my one thing on my bucket list, Angel. I've never been to the Swamp in Gainesville, and I'm going with my buddy Lou, and a few other guys. We are meeting up and going to the Miami Hurricane Florida Gator game at Ben Griffith Stadium coming up on August 31st at 3:30 in the afternoon. And if I know my buddy Lou, he's got great seats. I'm hoping there's a tiny bit of shade. 3:30 in Gainesville on August 31st could be a tad hot, but I don't care if it's 130 degrees and it's like standing on Mars. I have never been to the Swamp, been to a lot of stadiums professionally and collegiate level in my life. I've never, ever gone to the Swamp. I cannot wait to get there. My Hurricanes are already a 2.5-point favorite. And that's going to be a hell of a game. That should be a bucket list game for anybody anyway, or at least going to that stadium. You know, LSU is another place that I do want to get to at some point. But I am so psyched to be going August 31st with some buddies, driving up and staying overnight Friday and Saturday, coming back Sunday. So we'll be able to do the show that Friday on August 30th, and then I'll head up to Gainesville after that. It's about a 3.5-hour drive for me. But it'll be well worth it. So I can't wait, and I will be decked out in my Miami gear, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Have you ever had a reverse tan?
You mean where you get dark, which I usually do, and then get red again, that kind of thing? Okay.
Yeah, so kind of like that. So if when you go up to the Gainesville, it'd be like when you stood at Ray J, because of course it's all concrete. When you're sitting there, it feels like the sun rays are coming from behind and hitting you just, because of the reverse factor. But yeah, so it is going to be hot because I've been to a couple games down there at Ray J.
Yep.
And we've been there for preseason. I think one regular season I went to with the when the Eagles came to town, and then it gets baking hot. So I can imagine in Gainesville it's going to be the same exact way. So make sure you lotion up, my friend. Morning.
Well, I'll be lotioned up, and I'm gonna find out where the seats are too. And because I know he's got club seats before, but that was in Miami because I've met him in Miami. He's gotten me seats before, parking passes and stuff for the Hurricane games at Hard Rock, but they've always been in club section or shade. But it's such a just gotta stay hydrated. You don't overdo the partying. That can be afterwards, win, lose, or draw. Win or lose, but the key is to stay hydrated. But it's going to be such a tremendous atmosphere. It's the first game of the season. It means a lot for both teams. As I said, the Gators have arguably the hardest schedule I have ever seen in my life, which we've gone through before, and we'll go through it again probably, I'm sure, as well. All right, Angel, if we can, it's time now for the Red Sox report, which is brought to you by Moynihan Lumber. Check out their complete line of Anderson windows and doors at any of their 3 locations in Beverly and North Reading, Massachusetts, and Plastow, New Hampshire. Well, an amazing game by the Red Sox once again. They finish off the Yankees. They take 2 out of 3. It was scoreless until the top of the 7th, a great pitching duel. And then we play cut number 2. Rafael Devers got it going in the top of the 7th. This is from ESPN last night.
And this one is sent to left field. That sends Verdugo back, and he has got it again. Rafael Devers against the Yankees has put them up 1-0 on his 15th career homer in this ballpark. And here comes the ball, and Devers finally gets to home plate.
Yeah, by the way, that fan that fired that ball, what an arm. That was a pretty good chuck. Almost to pass the pitcher. That was a great chuck. All right, and the Red Sox continued in the top of the 8th inning. Rafaela gets into the act.
That ball is smashed to left field. A 1-look from Verdugo, and Rafaela has done it again. A big blast to left field The number 9 hitter gives the Red Sox a 2-0 lead. Cedar Rafaela's 11th home run of the season.
And how good has Rafaela been?
It's been outstanding. And then, for good measure, Rafael Devers in the 9th inning hits a bomb.
Single and a homer for Devers, and this one is driven to center field. He's watching it. He thinks he did it again. Oh, my goodness. Rafael Devers here at Yankee Stadium, his second of the night. 16th career shot here to tie Ortiz. They pitch to him, and he makes them pay.
Yeah, thanks to ESPN, 3-0 was the final there. It is absolutely amazing. In Red Sox history, the go-ahead homers, which obviously would be the first one he hit, Rafael Devers now leads all Red Sox, I think, with 12. Jim Rice has 11. Poppy had 10. Like Ted Williams was in there as well with 9. I mean, it's just amazing. He just owns them, absolutely owns them. And he's an all-star as well. He has 16 homers at Yankee Stadium, 28 against the Yankees total, hits 463 in the Bronx. That's 19 of 41, 7 homers and 10 RBI in his last 10 games in the Bronx. That is sick. So Donnie Rafaela homered in the 8th, as you saw there, off Luke Weaver. The Red Sox have won 6 of 7, 16 of 22, and they are 14-1 on Sundays. They cannot be beat, whether it's day or night. The Yankees, meanwhile, continue to stink. They're 13-16 against the American League East, against the Red Sox in their last 29. They've lost 2 of 3 to the Red Sox. They're 0-6-1 in their last 7 series, starting when they lost 2 of 3 at Fenway from June 14th through the 16th. Yankees shut out for the 6th time this year, but for the first since April 29th, the Red Sox have 9 shutouts, 2 behind Major League leading Atlanta. The game only took 2 hours and 23 minutes. Carter Crawford was outstanding last night, improves to 5-7. He allowed 4 hits in 7 innings for his 3rd scoreless start of the year. 40 pitches through 5 innings were the fewest for a big league starter since Ivan Nova's 38 for Pittsburgh against Arizona on May 30th, 2017. So Crawford made first pitch strikes to 17 of 23 batters, 54 of 68 pitches for strikes overall. Good God. Ed Hill lost his 4th straight outing after opening the season 9-1 with a 14.9 ERA in his previous 3. He allowed Devers homer among 4 other hits in 6 2/3, struck out 9, walked none for the first time in his big career. He threw a season-high 34 sliders of the 96. Red Sox, by the way, were 1 for 10 with 5 strikeouts against Hill's slider and 3 for 12 against the righty's fastball. So, meanwhile, in the trainer's room, Red Sox first baseman Tristan Casas strained his left rib, took 25 swings on Saturday, and is at 75%, according to Alex Cora. Red Sox have the night off. They open up a series against the Oakland A's coming up tomorrow night at Fenway. Brian Bello, who's been okay, 8-5 with a high ERA of 5.19, but I think he's starting to find himself again. We shall see. He'll be opposed by Joey Estes, who's 3-3 with a 4.39 ERA in the opener of a 3-game series at Fenway. Yankees, by the way, are at Tampa on Tuesday in the first of 3 games set there. Up your way, Angels. So there it is. Red Sox beat the Yankees 3-0, take 2 out of 3 in the Bronx, and they now have a 1.5 lead on the Kansas City Royals for that final spot. They're only a half game behind Minnesota for the 2nd spot, and they are closing in on the Yankees as well for that 1st spot. And who knows what can happen, but they are definitely they're definitely in it. And the big question is, does the Red Sox ownership believe? Buster Olney, right before the game last night in the pregame, said that the Red Sox, quote, are undecided, unquote, on whether to buy or sell at the deadline. That's going to piss a lot of people off because I think they're in it, and you got to try to win now. Got to try to win now. The rest of Major League Baseball, we're not going to play more cuts because Bill Sparrow's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Cubs beat the Angels 5-0. I will say this, Angel. I will play this cut if we can. This is so stupid. I don't understand athletes. I understand you're upset in the spirit of the moment, but if we could play cut number 2, the Cubs. Jason Kapinis on the Cubs. So Colton Brewer broke his hand after punching a wall in this game. So stupid. If we could play cut number 2 there.
Yep.
Before we get to that, though, let me ask you a question really quick about Colton Brewer. And you can relate to this, Kip, because Colton Brewer punched a wall.
Yeah.
And now he broke his hand.
I can relate to it because I might have fractured my finger one time, but not bad enough to go on the IL. And I've played with people who have done it before. We were joking about it. Which hand did he use? The movie quote. And also kind of good timing for him. I like bringing it up.
Explain that.
Listen, we root for everybody on this show. But the fact of the matter is, I think I saw he's given up 16 runs in 20 innings. 4 of his last 5 have given up runs. There might have been some writing on the wall of maybe being sent down. I know he's put on the IL and called up with a broken hand, but hey, it's not the first story that me and AJ have heard of guys being circling the drain about to get called down and ooh, my arm hurts, or something. Now you're on the 60. Now you're on the 60 day, getting paid for 60 more days. It's a business savvy move. If you ask
that'll
me.
get him through the end of the year.
Business move.
That'll get him to the end of the year.
It's a good business move.
A lot more service time.
All right, whatever. Again, thanks to the Follow Territory podcast there. All right, elsewhere before we go to break, and then Bill will join us at the bottom of the hour. So the Cubs beat the Angels 5-0. Marlins over the White Sox 7-4. Mets got by the Pirates 3-2. As we said, the Red Sox blanked the Yankees 3-0. Cardinals over the Nationals 8-3. Tigers beat the Reds 5-1. Guardians over the Giants 5-4. Braves blanked the Phillies 6-0. Rangers clobber Tampa Bay 13-2. Royals over the Rockies easily 10-1. Twins beat the Astros 3-2 as well. Orioles double up the A's 6-3. Arizona over the San Diego Padres 9-1. And in 10, the Blue Jays beat the Mariners 5-4. Brewers beat the Dodgers 9-2. And other Dodger news, Clayton Kershaw can make his first rehab start later this week. So there you have it. There is your MLB rundown. All right, Angel, time for another quick break. Bill Spiros will join me, great columnist for the Boston Herald, and, of course, senior betting analyst from Bookie.com. Will join me next here on the Pete Sheppard Show right here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Eye on Tampa Bay is the latest news, weather, and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, IonTP.com. Eye on Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, the game powered by Eye on Tampa Bay. We'll be right back.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding.
Whoa!
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Sheppard Show.
Always forget I have that one in there. Love it. Yeah, don't spaz out. Angels not spazzing out. That the Phillies got blanked by the Braves. One of those games. Phillies have played excellent baseball most of the year, and there's still a scintilla of a doubt, a residue. It's some trepidation in young Angel up in Tampa with his Philadelphia Phillies. He does not yet believe as I do. I believe in your Philadelphia Phillies, and I'm really, really starting to believe in the Boston Red Sox, even if their management, according to Buster Olney, is undecided, which we'll get another expert opinion on coming up right here, because the one and only Bill Sparrows from the Boston Herald and senior betting analyst at bookies.com joining us. Buster, I wanted to kick, my TV is too high and too big to kick. I would have pulled my groin. I would have got a baseball injury, been out the rest of the year. But I wanted to get a hold of somebody in Red Sox management, and I have no reason to believe Buster's information is not correct, about how you can possibly say or even leak that you're undecided when you're a game and a half up for the final wild card and only a half a game behind the second, and you're closing in on the Yankees for the first. It is going to be unacceptable, and should be unacceptable for any sane baseball, not just Red Sox fan, but sane baseball fan, that your team is in it right now if the playoffs started today and you're undecided. What the hell is going on over there? Good morning, Bill.
Hey, Pete. I'm in the North Carolina mountains enjoying.
Oh my God, Smoky Mountain Range? Well, no, that's Tennessee. I think.
No, more like the Blue Ridge Mountains in Boone. It's beautiful up here. It's nice and cool.
Oh, we got to talk about that in a second here.
I like the Red Sox who are smoking hot. You know, I don't know if that answer that he gave last night was sort of perfunctory or was really well thought out. I think what you're going to see, especially with this team coming home and then the All-Star break, it's kind of going to be almost, and I don't really want to do a political thing here, but from an analogy standpoint, it's almost like what's going on with Joe Biden, where there's this kind of increasing pressure every single day to do something.
Mhm.
I think that's what you're going to see with the Red Sox. I think we know they're very sensitive.
You think?
To public opinion. So I would hope that Red Sox fans who want to see a change would just sort of keep doing what they're doing in terms of being active on social media, and calling in shows and voicing their opinions, because that, as sad as that sounds, and we're talking about a baseball team, and they're so wedded to the analytics, although the analytics are certainly leaning toward this team making the playoffs now. They're pretty much even money. So I would say that would be what pushes them into action. Of course, I've never been a big Alex Cora guy, but I know the players love him. I know the media loves him. These guys are playing for him right now. There's no question. I mean, when you run and you play as aggressively as they play, that's where management, and I mean from the manager, that's where the manager comes in. That comes from the manager, encouraging that style of play, rewarding it. So there's actual real value to Cora this season that maybe I never saw before, partly because they finished in last place, 3 out of the last 4 years. I know he wasn't around for one of them because he was suspended for cheating. So, but to me, I've really seen his value this year where it really wasn't apparent in the past. And maybe it took, him to have this team of younger, underachieving, sort of underdog guys that buy into his shtick. And it's working. So I think the first thing they need to do is re-sign him and lock him up. And the Red Sox do have a flair for the dramatic. So if they are maybe to make a deal during the trade deadline, they might want to announce, an extension for Cora at the same time. They have to make it worth his while to want to stay. He's obviously going to be the most coveted manager in years once he hits the free agency market. So they've got some work to do. And I think what will tip them, aside from the team, keep playing well, will be public opinion, as sort of pathetic and sad as that sounds.
Well, no, I think you're absolutely right. I know this for a fact. And I think I've told you a couple stories before. WEI, which is still the flagship for the Red Sox, on in that office 24/7. They can deny it all they want. And I think it's like that way in a lot of.
Well, remember when he showed up unannounced on Felger and Mass in 2011?
Yeah,
my favorite moment in radio history because I actually caught it live. So obviously, yeah, they're sensitive to it. I guess the problem with John Henry right now is not only do you have to tell him he has a baseball team, you have to tell him that they're winning and that they beat the Yankees 2 out of 3, and that I'm copywriting this. The Yankee Clipper,
yes,
Yankee Clipper.
Yep.
Rafi Devers, the Yankee Clipper,
16 homers,
is like, I mean, he is little Poppy. It is unbelievable the sort of incarnation or reincarnation that he takes in the form of Ortiz whenever he is in the Bronx. It is amazing.
How about Garrett Cole's worst nightmare? I mean,
yeah.
7 home. I mean, absolutely. That stare after he blasted one out, even though they lost that game Saturday, but that was fan. You knew it was coming. I wonder what the odds of him hitting a home run against Garrett Cole, whatever it was. I wish there was a player prop. I'm sure you might have seen one. I'm sure it was like 4 or 5 to 1. I would have put $1 million on that he would have had a home run off of him because it was stupid. What you throw him a fastball? I mean, the whole time everybody's talking about the first couple of bats. Don't throw him a fastball because you're going to launch one off you. And he let his ego go, meaning Garrett Cole, get the best of him, and Devers took him deep again. It is amazing. I just gave the numbers before during my Red Sox report that he's batting in the Bronx 463 with 7 homers and 10 RBI, and it's just his last 10 games in the Bronx. That is sick, Bill. Sick, sick, sick.
Well, again, I they have got to be people inside that clubhouse that are saying, why in the hell are we pitching to this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta walk him. And granted, that pitch he hit for the second home run was a mile outside the strike zone, but after the game, he said that, he knew what was coming. So again, why pitch to him? I posted on X, it's I wish they could bring back Steinbrenner, like maybe during a seance or like in a Ouija board, just so that he could fire Aaron Boone today. Like this would be the day that, like, the off day Monday in June or July, you lose 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox. Devers kills you for the millionth time.
Great point.
And it's just like, this is like the day that he fired Billy Martin like 5 times. It was like some off day in June or July.
Stick Michael will come in or whatever.
Exactly. We'd be like, this day where there's nothing going on. And, it's like, it's almost sad in a way. Not that I want anybody to lose their job, but just to have that drama, like, that to have everybody in New York on fire, knowing that the guy's going to get the boot. He's not obviously going to get the boot right now. Although it would be something if he did. Hal is certainly not his old man. And it's kind of, it was a lot more fun when, you never knew when the Yankees were going to fire their manager. I frankly don't know how this guy has kept his job this long. I gotta believe they're gonna pull the plug on him, and probably Cashman will just quit if they don't make it to the World Series this year, of all years. I mean, this is the inverse of 1978. We're watching it in real time. It's crazy.
Yeah, and let's not forget yesterday about Carter Crawford. I mean, what do you have, 8 pitch inning, 7 pitch inning, 9 pitch inning? I mean,
68 pitches into the 7th inning,
54 strikes, 54 of them strikes, which was just unbelievable. And I was surprised he didn't go the whole way, but again, whatever.
Well, I don't know what was more incredible, that or the fact that when that game was at the middle of the 8th inning, and I know I'm in Carolina, which is a little further west. So we're at the western fringe of this time zone. But it was the middle of the 8th inning of a Red Sox Yankees Sunday night game, and the sun was still up.
I know. And we're used to those games going 4.5, 5 hours, just in 9 innings back in the day.
You'd watch a Red Sox Yankee game on Saturday night, the sun would be coming up at the end of the game.
Yes.
And I looked out the window here in beautiful mountainous Boone, and it was still sunny, and it was a Sunday night game, and it was in the 8th inning, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is crazy!"
Yeah, it ended 9:23 Eastern time, or not 9:23. 9:23 Eastern time it ended. So it was 2 hours and 23 minutes. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Yes, absolutely.
Baseball may save itself yet.
Well, yeah, there's definitely the pitch clock helps, but just the at bats back in the day. In the 2000s, even up until very recently, the Yankees and Red Sox at bats, they would just foul after foul after foul ball. The at bats would be unbelievable because there was such both patient and good hitting teams, and that's why it would take so long. I mean, it wasn't uncommon to see a 30 pitch inning.
Yeah.
So
and it would take Manny an hour to round the bases.
Well, then you have between the not having the pitch clock, 30 pitch inning, everybody readjusting their gloves and hats and stance and crotch and whatever else they wanted to pick at, added another few minutes, but it's refresh. I think the pitch clock has been fantastic. And I'll tell you, last night, that was a playoff type of game. I loved it.
Oh, it really was. I mean, there was buzz all weekend. I didn't think this team would do well. I'm going to eat my under on 80 wins. But I made a little bit of it back the other night against the Marlins when they scored those 5 runs in the 9th.
Yes.
So that's fine. I don't mind taking the L on that one. The good thing about this team is they're fun to watch. They're entertaining, and that's all you want. From a mid-level, mid-market Pittsfield Red Sox, is that you want them to be fun to watch. I mean, these games are fun. We're on vacation, and I watched every game this week that we've been up here. I caught the 2 games against, actually 3.
Yeah,
and
they're all on
it's,
national TV. That helps.
It's pleasant. It's just a pleasant way to spend a couple of hours, even on vacation, to just watch this team. I mean, they're fun to watch, and that's all you can ask for. And it used to be just get us to Patriots training camp, and now it's kind of going to be like, you better get us to Celtics training camp, because I'm looking for some of Derek May's ancestral DNA around here. His grandmother grew up on the other side of this mountain where I'm staying. So he's got a little bit of Mayberry in him, even though he grew up in kind of the nice suburbs of Charlotte.
You're near App State, right? I mean, up in Boone.
Yes.
That's a beautiful. I've not been there. I've only seen it many times. That is a beautiful, beautiful campus.
Oh, this place is gorgeous. And, right now I'm out on the porch. I think it's 68 degrees.
So how does you're an Eastern Massachusetts guy? Have you been going to Boone for a long time? Or is this just something you said, let's go, honey, let's go try this? And it looks like you're renting a house or something. Or you have friends there?
No, I have no friends anywhere. My best friend is Monster. He's sleeping right over here.
Okay.
No, I have no friends.
I'm your friend.
No, I literally went online, and I said, I was like, okay, what would be like a great place to go to the mountains in the summer? To escape the hellscape that is New Smyrna Beach in July. And Boone came up like in a bunch of places, and I read about it, and I knew App State, of course. And we came here originally 3 years ago. This is our 3rd trip here. Every summer we go away just to get away from the heat. And then every other year we usually go out west. The last year we were in Wyoming. This year we went to Boone. It's nice. It's a long drive, but we drove
especially to Wyoming.
Yeah. We drove up with the dog. Loaded up the truck and headed for Beverly,
Texas.
It's a long drive, but it's a fun 2 weeks get away.
So you actually did drive to Wyoming? You actually did drive?
Oh, no, not to Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
But we did drive to Boone.
Okay.
Because that way we can, take the dog. So
now, are you fishing?
Nice...
Are you fishing and
no,
hunting?
No, I really don't. We just do a lot of hiking. Pretty much hiking, and checking out the towns, and there's a lot of things to do around here. Blue Ridge Parkway.
How's the food?
Beautiful drive. Be doing that today. Drive up to Virginia.
Oh yeah. How's the food in Boone?
It's great. It's a college town.
Yeah.
So you have there's a lot of stuff that's going on here. It's really a great place to visit. And of course, it's a huge ski place. Lots of skiing around here in the winter. But it's a really nice town. And obviously having the college makes a difference. They got a beautiful park system here.
Yeah.
Greenways, trails, a lot of, state parks. Of course, the Blue Ridge Parkway is a national park, the road itself. So there's a lot of national park stuff. I highly recommend it for anybody who wants to get away any time of year, but certainly in the summer. It was actually hot here one day, but it's rained every day. So the temps, we're so high up, we get a lot of rain. It's really a beautiful place. And we do this every year, same time of year to kind of reset,
Yeah, sure.
Since my work is centered around football, this time of year is kind of gotta catch my breath. We have a spring full of legislative news and regulatory news and gambling, and then we have football, which begins pretty much already.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I was telling these guys, is that a garage door open that just happened? I just sort of, I don't know, something happening in Boone.
Oh yeah, that's the automatic hot tub that sort of runs on its own. We're not allowed
Wait a second. Why aren't you in the hot tub doing this? You could get a chair, put the laptop on with the camera and everything.
That's gee, I'm embarrassed to say I didn't even think about that. I should have.
Because that would have been something.
One of the house rules is they told us we're not allowed to turn it off, so it just sort of goes on its own. It's its own little world here.
Yeah.
But
Now,
it's
do you have
coming away right now?
I can't. It looks like do you have any body of water behind you, a lake or something like that. It looks like you have a very good view.
No, just the view off the porch. Very nice. We're sort of on a hill, so everything is mountainous, as you can see.
Yeah. Were you there for the 4th, or did you just get there a couple of days ago?
Oh no.
Oh,
no, we were here.
So how was that? How was the 4th?
A lot of fireworks.
Yeah.
They had a parade. They had like a little small town parade. It was really cool. It was just a lot, like pretty much anybody who wanted to show up would march in it. You had a lot of local organizations, a lot of kid groups. Pretty much every truck in town was in the parade. It's a nice little small touristy town, kind of in the middle of nowhere, but a great place to spend, a week in the summer. I'm sure it's great in the fall. I'm sure it's great in the winter.
Yeah.
But for me, it's got to get away from the heat.
Oh,
Get away from
yeah.
all that humidity, all that heat and humidity that was invented by Ron DeSantis. It's incredible that Florida was never hot in July, right? Like we never had hurricanes, like Hurricane Andrew never happened, Hurricane Diana, none of that stuff ever happened. We never had heat and humidity in the summer in Florida until DeSantis got elected. It was incredible. I was reading about that. It said, "Oh yeah, there was never any heat from DeSantis became governor." It's funny because I lived in Florida for 20 years, and it's funny because it usually snows in June and July.
And it also never gets into the 40s in December or even the high 30s once in a while in January. That never happens down here.
No. It's just heat and humidity that was invented by the Ron DeSantis. He has a big weather machine in Tallahassee, and it runs on. He feeds it children. And the Ron DeSantis heat and humidity machine is fed. It's fed by children. It likes it eats the children and spits out bad weather.
Yeah,
I think I read that in the Miami Herald. So I don't know.
somewhere along the way. Although if you're working outside now, that bill that he passed isn't going over too well about being able to take breaks unless the company says you can take breaks. The people down here, especially Southwest Florida, where Angel is, it's very, very hot. These guys bust their chops making all these houses, in short period on these roofs. I don't know how they do it. I wouldn't last an hour. I tell you that right now. I wouldn't last an hour.
No, I couldn't do it. No chance.
Yep.
No chance.
All right. So, any neighbors around? Are you surrounded by any neighbors or anything else? Or
no, it's just. I mean, there's two other houses on this little hill. The owner of the place is like about a quarter mile up the way, and there's another house maybe next door. There's a lot of trees.
Yeah.
There's a little fence because they have a dog. So our dog runs in the woods. It's
great.
It's a nice little place. Like I said, this is the second time we've actually stayed in this cabin. So it's really nice. Yeah. Next time, I will have to. I should have done it from a hot tub. You're right.
You got to go in a hot tub time machine.
Computer would have been trash, but that's okay.
Well, you could put it on a chair or something. You could have angled it, set it up.
I suppose.
Or your wife could have been there and hold the phone or something like that.
She's not going to do that.
She's not going to do that. All right. Yeah. All right, Bill. Thanks so much. Unless you want to ask Bill something, Angel Martinez, who's been unbelievable behind the scenes. And
hey, Angel.
What's up?
The hocus pocus abracadabra, no one over here.
There you go. You beamed in. Yep.
Yeah. Bill, I've been up there in those negative woods where you are in Boone in the mountains. It is absolutely spectacular. Any time of the year you go up there, it's really, really nice. So envious because I spent a good amount of time up there when I was done at Fort Bragg, the time I used to get off of my son, who's from North Carolina. It's a great time. So, yeah. And for you, it's probably a different experience, obviously being when you talk about the time difference when the game was over. It's nice here, this neck of the woods where Pete and I are, where it's 4:00, 4:30, it's pitch black on the East Coast. But down here, we don't get dark till about 6:15, 6:20ish in the wintertime. So yeah, it's different to see as you go further south, how things end up working. But I'm just glad you took some time off and able to relax a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. So am I. Like I said, it's with what I do, it's very calendar driven. We have times a year where there's certain things going on in the gambling industry. Your legislative, all your legislatures meet in the spring.
Yeah.
January, February, March, April, that time of year. So that the first half of the year is, once the Super Bowl ends, I slide into the Oscars, and then I slide into the legislative season. Oscars, big stuff. And we had a lot of legislation this year. Next year is going to be huge. Georgia and Texas will be up again. There's a referendum in Missouri this year to legalize betting. And of course you have, Mass, they went with Bally's last week, finally.
Yeah.
So there's always stuff going on there. And then, we move into football season. There's a lot of setup stuff we do heading into football. I just charted the mileage for all the Big Ten, ACC, and SEC teams.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that Stanford is in the ACC.
Yep.
USC,
and Cal.
UCLA in the Big Ten. It's crazy.
Cal. Yeah, it is. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I love college football. I can't wait. Traveling.
You wanted the best new college football trivia question is, what is the shortest annual road trip in the Big Ten?
Oh, I got to. Not Michigan State. Let me see. Oh, is it? It's probably Rutgers, right? Rutgers against no, not Rutgers.
You're gonna win a lot of money.
Oh, Maryland and who am I missing? It's Maryland and somebody, isn't it?
Annual game, shortest road trip in the Big Ten. Annual game every year. Shortest round trip between two stadiums in the Big Ten.
Oh, hang on. Okay, hang on a second. Give me a second. This is going to bother me. If I don't get this right, it's going to really bother me.
Okay.
So hang on. I don't want to be bothered. Okay.
I wrote it. I posted the story. They put it. They posted it on X.
Not Indiana, Purdue. Oh, nope. UCLA, USC.
Bingo! Congratulations. Good work. Good job there, Pete. You got it.
That would have bothered me all. Yeah, imagine
UCLA,
that.
USC, the shortest annual road trip in the Big Ten, 25 miles.
Unbelievable. And by the way, in case you're running about Rutgers in Jersey, they're home against Howard, home against Akron, at Virginia Tech, home against Washington, at Nebraska, home against Wisconsin, home against UCLA. Then they go to USC. And then they're home against Minnesota, at Maryland, home against Illinois, and at Michigan State. So overall, Bill, for a team in New Jersey, that's not too bad. They only have to go out west once.
Well, they did the scheduling, in a way where they limited the trips. So each of the legacy schools only have to do that. Only make one West Coast trip every year. The West Coast teams have to head east 2 times a year at least, the way they did the schedule. So it's kind of a mess. The Washington State game is played every year in Seattle, but that's not a conference game. So that stadium is about 4 miles from the University of Washington. It's right there, and it's right there in Seattle. But that UCLA USC game is the shortest annual road trip in the Big Ten.
Yeah, amazing. All right, go enjoy your hiking, and hopefully there's not a lot of wild animals around. But be careful. You and your lovely wife have a blast and have a great vacation. Enjoy Boone, and we will talk next week.
Okay, thanks, Pete. Thank you. Thanks, Angel.
You're welcome, Bill. Enjoy it.
Bill Sparrows, great columnist for the Boston Herald and also senior betting analyst at bookies.com. Well, Angel, that is let me get my closing music because you're going to get out of here. You got some stuff you got to do. So we're going to end this show a little bit earlier today. And
before you play, there you go. We're playing the closing music. But for those who didn't catch the show here at the 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock hour, Some changes there to the app. So you guys have, we've been asking you guys to download the apps. Well, we're going to ask you guys to re-download the app because the existing one will be going away in a couple of days. I've revamped the entire process to make it easier for everyone. So you guys can now tune in live on the show from the app. You can actually text and call the show right from the app and also listen in as well. So if you guys haven't gone yet, sr1029thegame.com, as Bob asked me when you guys were speaking about it. So visit sr1029thegame.com, download the new app, and you can watch the show, listen to the show, text the show, all from the same place. And make sure you enable the push notifications so you guys won't miss any kind of updates.
Awesome, Angel. You're the man. We'll be back together. So you're off today. Your show will not happen today, but we'll be back tomorrow. But middays with Q is going to happen today with Rich Quinones between noon and 2, followed by at 2:30 the Marshall
Time Podcast.
Marshall Time Podcast.
Yep.
Breaking down the NBA. It's going to be good stuff. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Thanks, Angel. Thanks, everybody, for listening right here on the Coastal Sports Network. Back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Bye-bye.